if I had $1 for every time I heard on my mission, oh yeah, when I get back from my mission, I won't do that. You know, I would be a rich man. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's been 2 long years.
It has.
A lot has changed since we last left you all, our 10 listeners.
Our 10. I checked today. It said our average episode got 27 listens.
27.
So 27 listeners. Unless people repeated, but you know.
Yeah, that's also possible. I will say though, I've always done this just for fun, never for like.
Yeah, never for clout, never for. Well, there wasn't anything else. Yeah, just fun.
Yeah, and going back and listening to our podcast, I think is like the most priceless.
It's
part
very
of being
entertaining.
Able to do this. Yeah,
it's very entertaining.
You get to see like the big change, I guess, in ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's kind of what we want to talk a bit about today is just this whole realm of change that's gone on in past 2 years with us, with, well, I don't know, the ideas that we've learned from it all of that stuff kind of going on.
Just like character change.
Yeah,
really.
Character change.
Yeah.
What goes into it, why it happens, why it doesn't happen. We're going to dive right in.
Yeah, we don't have a guest on today, so if you're looking for a guest, you won't find one.
Yeah, just us today.
But yeah, Tanner and I are very excited to be back. As far as announcements go, we're going to try to upload more. I'm not going to promise a set time frame because I know we'll probably break it.
Yeah.
But we'll try to get out a couple episodes here. If you want to be on the show, let us know. We're always looking for people. And I always said the requirement was to go back and listen to some of the old episodes. So that remains to be a requirement. But you don't have to listen to all of them.
Yeah.
Because that would take forever.
Just got to get the idea. Just got to get the feel for it.
Exactly. You can't come on and be like, oh, so how do these usually go? You kind of have to know how they usually go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
So Tanner, before this, he said, let's call this the plan of salvation structure.
Yes. Because it's all about where we are now, where we were, and where we're going, you know?
Right. Yeah. So
it's like too much to just like really just, I don't know, there's so much to like talk about with it all. We figure we break it up into simple sections like that.
Yeah.
So where are you, Clyn?
Yeah, we're going to kind of talk about ourselves and then kind of hopefully branch out from that.
Yeah, we'll branch into some ideas. We're not here just to talk about ourselves, but the ideas that we formed from it all, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So I am currently going to BYU. Both of us are going to BYU.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
Ooh.
I'm undecided for my major. I've been leaning towards business lately, or at least I tell people that. Just to
give them something?
Yeah, give them something. Because I feel like it's kind of lame to be like, oh, what are you studying? Oh, I'm undecided. You know, and then... Yeah. Because I'm really asking, like, something about their personality, you know? So, like, what are you interested in, right? Is like a more appropriate question. But anyways.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I'm kind of leaning towards business. I thought about, like, doing medical or something, but then I took a biology class. Well, I'm taking a biology. Well, I dropped it because I wasn't that interested in it. So.
Okay.
So biology's kind of off the table. So, yeah. Well, it's not off the table yet, I would say. But... yeah, it's kind of begun the process of narrowing things down. I have a job. I work at the MTC, actually. I just barely started. Taught my first lesson yesterday. It actually went really well. And then I had my second lesson this morning. So, yeah, if my voice goes out, then that's why.
Because you've just been talking so much?
Yeah.
That's true. It is a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you get breaks.
Yeah. There you go.
Other than that... let's see. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what's going on for me right now. We have an intramural flag football team, but probably not anymore since I'm working at the MTC.
Yeah, we're gonna miss our star QB, but we'll make it work.
Star QB.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Whatever. Well,
Tanner,
yeah. So as Clyn said, I'm at BYU as well right now. I am kind of decided, I guess. I'm going into advertisement, I think.
That's a good one for you.
Yeah, I think it fits.
If you haven't, by the way, check out his YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
Really good
333 subscribers now, baby.
Oh, wow.
They're waiting.
Really
I need to put something up there, honestly. I realized, dang, there's actually, legit people that, subscribe that don't know me at all. I mean, there's not, that many at all. I was like, I should put something up.
Well, when I was on my mission, when I would talk about my podcast, I would be like, yeah, my friend Tanner, he's really good at videography, so you should check out his YouTube channel. I don't know if anyone did.
They did. I don't know. I'd get little emails every once in a while and be like, so-and-so subscribed to you. I'm like, really?
Oh, really?
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but so I'm going into that. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be, I don't know. It's like not, it feels realistic without just like trying to scramble to find just video jobs. Because that was one thing I thought a lot about on the mission. I'll probably hop into it later. Like, I just want security when it comes to like my job and whatnot. For a while, I actually considered not going to college just because I was getting video jobs. And
they pay well,
And
right?
they paid well, yeah. And I was like, why do I need to go to college for this? But then, mission, I had a lot of time to think, and I realized I want more security, in it. But
Mission does that to you?
Yeah, it does. And a lot of it too, I just need to check things out more, not close any doors, honestly, right now. So I am still doing video work. I'm doing a little video right now for a climbing company, Fictitious. Pretty stoked on it.
Oh, Fictitious.
Fictitious,
Is it
yes.
like in competition to Quarry and Momentum?
No. They're just like a training, like equipment company.
Oh, okay.
So they just make like holds or different things you train with. But I love working with them. They're super awesome. And yeah, I also am thinking about applying to the MTC to teach.
Oh, I would highly recommend it.
I know you would, obviously, but
yeah.
I don't know. So I got to go guest teach there the other day, and it was awesome. It was super fun. And like the missionaries are awesome, and they're incredible. They're so excited to learn, and there's just, the MTC is truly like a separate world. When I went into the building, I was like, I'm literally like leaving normal society right now, and I'm just like in this, I don't know, the sphere.
Like bubble.
Yeah, it's a bubble,
Yeah.
But it was really cool, and I don't know, it's honestly like post mission, it's really just, I don't know, keeps you like connected with everything you were thinking about before, like during the mission.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know?
I think that's a big benefit.
Definitely.
I would also say, like, you mentioned that you were kind of hesitant because it's pretty, like, rigorous.
Yeah.
The work schedule.
Yeah.
Which it is. And I've only worked there for 2 days now, basically.
It is very rigorous.
But I personally say I think it's worth the I guess rigidness. Like, it's the same time every day, and you kind of do the same thing, so it keeps you on a good schedule, and it's just good for you. I feel like.
No, it's definitely a job that like benefits you as well as you're doing a lot of good in the world. You know? So I actually took on another job and quit like first week of school.
Oh really? What was it?
It was at BYU Broadcasting.
Oh okay.
And I was what they call a room producer, which is basically where you just sit there and you have to quality check all of the videos that they put out for BYU Broadcasting, like all of their TV shows, and like. Eventually, like, if I stay there long enough, I could get up to a point where I'm kind of editing online sort of things. I don't even know what it really means.
Yeah, the timeline.
But, like, with the timeline, the pay, and the hours, I was like, I don't think this is worth it right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually even work a real day. I just, like, did orientation and shadowed, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
That's funny.
I felt really bad, but they were really understanding. So.
Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah. I was going to say, the one thing about the MTC, I will say, the MTC is like the first job I've had where I'm not counting down the hours
until it's...
Yeah. Like every
That's
other job.
nice.
I mean, I've only had like a couple jobs. Like I ref soccer for a while. I worked at Walmart. But both of those jobs, I was basically just counting down. And I thought reffing soccer, like, it would be kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's not. And...
That's
but
true.
the MTC, it's like, oh my gosh, I only have an hour left and I have to fill in all these things.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like the big difference I've noticed. And I'm genuinely passionate about it.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally. That's one thing that was really cool is like, so they gave me like an hour to teach and I was like, oh my gosh, a whole hour to fill. And like, there was a bit where I got a little like worried about like how I was going to fill it, but we just started kind of throwing things out there and it worked out. And towards the end, I had a lot I wanted to cram in. But what was really cool is like you said, like you want to fit it all in. Like you're very sincere in your work.
Wish for more time.
Exactly. And it was really cool because right at the very end, like you don't really have too many opportunities to really bear your testimony getting back home. And like you have ways you live your testimony. But like it was just so nice to bear my testimony in such a sincere manner again for the missionaries. Like that was really refreshing.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Really
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing I really enjoy about the MDC. But yeah, we were wanting to go, I guess, to where we've been. Now.
Yeah.
Should we transition there? Anything
Yeah, where
else
we've been. No.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Well, I served in West Virginia, the West Virginia Charleston Mission. The last episode, I probably said that I was going to Japan, which did not end up happening. So I was called to the Japan Kobe mission. Ended up serving my whole 2 years in the West Virginia Charleston mission. Ended up being a great mission for me. Learned a lot. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been, just surface level. We can return to that.
Yeah, and I said as well, I was serving in the Trinidad Port of Spain mission, but I was reassigned for the first year out into Washington, Tacoma mission, and then at about a year out there, I was able to make it down to the original assignment for about 10 months or so.
Okay. What would you say were like some major differences between your two missions, I guess?
For one, the mission in the States was ginormous, like missionary-wise. We had 250 missionaries there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just a ton of missionaries. And because of that, like the work, I don't know. There's a lot of social loafing, I feel like, because of that. When you have more people, it's easier to kind of congregate.
Social loafing, that's a good phrase.
Yeah, social loafing, AP psychology. Versus like in the other mission, like when we got down to our zone was one country. The zone was all of Suriname. But like the country itself, like we only served about 20 square miles, honestly.
Oh, wow.
And there's only 2 missionaries there at the time when we got down. And then there was 8 of us coming down. So with only 10 of us there wasn't a whole lot of like congregating. There was like so much to do.
Really?
And so we were really excited about that. So like there was automatically like a higher sense of urgency to go and get to work. So that was a big difference. And then just like having it only be that many people, there was so much less like cliques or culture.
Okay.
Like both positive and negative culture, I guess. Mostly kind of negative sometimes.
Yeah.
But like with it just being that simple, small group of people, you were a lot more united. It was easier to be united.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool. I was going to say, I feel like one of the biggest struggles, I guess, on my mission was filling time. I feel like there was not a whole lot to do a lot of the time. And, you know, obviously you can always knock doors and always do such and such. But sometimes it, you know, gets monotonous. And, you know, if you do it for 40 hours a week, it definitely gets monotonous. But I need to stop saying, you know, so often.
Yeah. But
I thought I like broke that habit on my mission, but I find myself like starting to do it again.
That's a good question right there. What habits did you break on your mission?
That's a great question. I feel like there was a lot of really small habits, like, for example, the one that I had that I really worked hard, and I found that it was a lot harder than I thought to break even those small habits. I think one of the most valuable lessons I learned on my mission was to change those little things. There's like a line from a talk where it was a woman, a sister. I don't remember the talk at all, but I remember she said that there's no sin or no hardship too big or too small for Jesus Christ to heal. And I really like that because I feel like I have, obviously some big things, but a lot of things that we deal with, like checking our phones, or going on social media, like instinctively tapping on it. Oh, yeah. Those small habits, too, also need to be overcome because they lead to bigger ones.
Absolutely. So. And honestly, it's weird. The small ones, we almost hold on to them so much harder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like we look at all these people.
Because you're like, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that bad, which is so interesting because, like, we'll go out on a mission. We'll, put away college, sports, friends, work, everything to go on a mission, but then we just hold on to all these little things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like that's a good question. I feel like because deep down we are the same person, and the change of geography, cutting out sports, cutting out whatever it is, right, doesn't change you necessarily all at once, and so you still have those little things that you would do regardless of if you had the big things or not. Does that make sense? I don't know if that does.
No, that makes sense.
A big thing I always told myself was like, I don't know how to put this, but like, I remember I told my brother, I said, if you don't do it, it doesn't get done, right? So and maybe I should change it to, if you don't do it now, it doesn't get done, right? Because you always say, oh yeah, I say a lot, but I'm gonna fix that eventually, right? Yeah. Like if I had $1 for every time I heard on my mission, oh yeah, when I get back from my mission, I won't do that. I would be a rich man, because there's a lot of people that say, yeah, when I get back from my mission, I'll definitely be better at studying, or I'll be better at not procrastinating, whatever it is, right? Yeah. But it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen by your change of geography.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of things that subconsciously I thought would change with me just coming home, because I'm trying to think of some of them. I don't know. There's a lot of there was more things I was worried about, like personality wise or like mentally. I think that
Yeah.
there's a lot of mental challenges on the mission, and a lot of it I thought would kind of just be fixed going home.
Right.
You know, but I don't think it would have. Obviously, I got over them with time. But I think, honestly, I look at it, if I went back home during those times, it would have been still just as hard and just as confusing, you know, even if I was at home with family and friends.
Like, I don't know. Like, we expect to be that things will just be different. Things will just be better. Often, we assume that things are just going to be better when such and such happens.
Yeah.
But you're the same person.
Yeah.
You're the same person. You're only change if you repent, right? If you use Jesus Christ, the atonement.
Yeah.
How long have we been going? Did you start a timer?
It's
I totally forgot to.
1 second. This says it's got 3 minutes left, but this looks like it stopped recording, so I'm gonna check something really quick.
Oh shoot.
We're good. We're back. We were scared that something got messed up, but we're all good in the end.
Wait, how long was the timer? 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can see the runtime like right there.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, sorry everyone. What were we talking about? Change and stuff like that. Yeah. So I feel like a big thing is like, why do so many missionaries go inactive after they come home, right? And a lot of people, I don't know. I feel like everyone has their own theory on that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the most common one is like everybody talks about it. My dad talks about it a lot. It's just doing the little things.
The little things,
know?
yeah.
So little things is definitely a big part of it, you know? And like, I don't know. Obviously, like, well, yeah, I mean, like, you can pray, you can read your scriptures, and you can go to church. You can do the little things. But if you're not doing them intentionally, you know?
Yeah.
It's not real worship.
It's like a checklist item.
Yeah. And eventually, like, you realize that doesn't matter if you check the box or not because you weren't getting anything from it in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of think it's funny because I'm kind of falling into this trap because I'll do like my own personal study in the morning, but then we have like I have like a Book of Mormon class. Right?
Yeah.
What religion class are you?
I'm in a Book of Mormon class.
Okay, yeah. And then the readings for that I treat as a checklist item. Because I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, I know the Book of Mormon. I'm just gonna breeze through these.
A lot of it. Sometimes it's a lot though.
Yeah, it is a lot. That's the problem. Is when I do my personal study, I set a timer, right, for 15, half an hour, whatever it is, and I go very slowly. I don't really care about the distance I cover. So then when I'm supposed to read from 1 Nephi 1 to 1 Nephi 8, then it becomes like, how fast can I do it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily like totally wrong with that because it's for the class, and a lot of like what you get the most from class is honestly being there, at least religion.
Yeah.
Like I love the religion class I'm in. We always have very great discussions, great lectures. Griffin.
Oh, okay. Don't know who that is.
But the classes have been great. The pre-readings for it, I just listen to get good context for going into class, honestly, because I don't have time to do a deep study of 12 chapters before the next class.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of how I treat it. It's like, I'm just going to get a brief overview.
Yeah, along with also trying to do personal studies that are personal, you know, things that I really am looking for right now.
Yeah, so do you do Come Follow Me as well?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Come Follow Me is hard, but I have actually really been enjoying it. I'm a very big Isaiah fan. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Part of it, for me right now, we're doing a project in our religion class. It's a research paper, and you can either pick the subject of I have questions or I want to be better. And because of that, it makes it very personal. So like I view this kind of as personal study time. I want to be a lot better about praying and just like I pray, you know, but I want to get more from it.
Yeah, but I want to pray.
Yeah, exactly. So like those research like paper studies I've been doing and they feel like personal studies. So like I haven't been looking at Come Follow Me as much.
I was going to ask, so like on your mission you study for an hour, right?
Yes, I would study for about an hour.
Okay, yeah. So you study for an hour. I want to know, like, how do your studies look on your mission versus how they look now? And that goes with, like, time and also, like, content. Like, what kind of stuff you do study?
So right now, I actually...
Do you have, like, a structure?
I kind of have a structure. Okay. So, honestly, it fits best on the days when I have school because I have one class at 8 a.m. to 9, and then I have an hour gap until 10. So that little time right there, I go to the building where I have class, and I just take that time to do personal study. Oh, okay. I usually aim for, like, half an hour. And then like after that I usually do some schoolwork if I have, but if it's good I just keep going and just fill the hour.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of it right now, it hasn't been super deep in the scriptures itself, but it's been in a book I'm reading called Worship.
Okay.
Which is all about deepening the checkbox items.
Yeah.
It's by Eric D. Huntsman. It's really good. I've only read the first chapter just because I've been taking it really slow. And the first chapter is all about prayer right now.
Oh, okay.
And just being intentional, doing things that help you connect with God before you pray, and just get your mindset, just like your frame of mind in the right place before you pray. So that's been really cool. That's really a lot of it. That's a lot of like my study. Honestly, like for me.
So what sorry.
No, you're good.
You can come back to that. But what was like the content on your mission?
On my mission, yes. Good question. Okay. On my mission, honestly, it was just a ton of the scriptures. Like I constantly was just reading through the scriptures, just the Book of Mormon for the most part. I'd usually get, like I said, a scripture and say, I want to just read through this. So I read through all of D&C. I read through the Book of Mormon multiple times. I think I just read through the Gospels in the New Testament. I want to read through that. And then there's usually a couple talks, then preach my gospel.
Okay.
But at one point in my mission, all I did for, I swear, like a month, personal study hour and language study for an hour, was just reading the Book of Mormon in Dutch.
Really?
Because I wanted to get through it. So I'd read 10 pages each hour. So I'd read like 20 pages in a day of the Book of Mormon in Dutch.
Okay.
I loved it. It was really nice.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
That is way cool. What were you going to say?
I was going to say a lot of it. So this is kind of different idea, but one thing that was difficult for me out on the mission was like study itself felt very academic almost. Rather than worship.
I can definitely see where you're coming from.
It didn't feel like a sense of worship, and that's really what I've been trying to aim for, hence why I'm reading this book.
Right.
So a lot of like my study, like my worship isn't just in my studies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it comes from listening to hymns, just pondering, I don't know, just what I have been studying, worshiping in thought and
worship
deed.
through study. I like that.
Exactly. So it's just, I don't know, just that whole idea of just like staying connected with heaven, I guess. So I'm just trying to do things there, I guess.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. But what about you? What's your study?
Well, so on my mission, we have an hour for personal study. I would always chunk it out in 15-minute sections. Mm-hmm. And I would always, the first 15 minutes, do the Book of Mormon. After that, sorry, no, you're good. Our upstairs neighbors are making noise, but after that, I feel like I would always have like, oh, I need to study this, I need to study this, I need to study this, right? So that's why I always made sure to start with the Book of Mormon, and then I would kind of go through like what I needed quote unquote needed to study. Like academic wise, right? Like I need to be able to answer this question today. I need to be able to teach this principle, whatever it was.
Totally.
But if I didn't have something, I would just kind of go through. I would do Come Follow Me a lot, and the Doctrine and Covenants, New Testament, whatever it was. A talk, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of what mine did. And then how I kind of transitioned that is I shoot for a half an hour. I'll wake up and that's the first thing I do, pretty much. Mm-hmm. I'll do like I always start with 50 minutes of the Book of Mormon, and then I do 50 minutes of either Come Follow Me or like a talk or something like that. Mm. So yeah, I always, I don't know, I feel like the Book of Mormon is the most important thing, so that's always like number one priority. Totally. But yeah, this podcast has gotten a lot more spiritual since it's like we went on missions or something.
Yeah. I'd hope so.
Yeah.
Be this way.
Yeah. But kind of going back to why some missionaries fall away.
Oh, right? Yes.
Yeah. So you said the little things.
Yeah, things.
I agree with that. I feel like, so, Elder Bednar always talks about like testimony versus conversion, right? I think that's the big thing, and I realized a lot on my mission that people who left the church for one, but also people who were like drinking, smoking, etc. They all believed in God. They would all say, "Oh yeah, there's I believe in God," or even like members who had fallen away. They'd be like, "Yeah, I believe in Joseph Smith, or that Joseph Smith was a prophet," right? Mm-hmm. Things like that, but they just don't want to do it. They don't want to live the lifestyle anymore. So they have the testimony, but they're not converted to the gospel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. For me, like, I don't know. One thing I like grew to understand on my mission is that when people aren't doing things, it's because they don't have a proper understanding of it. Like they may believe it and kind of like grasp the basic idea of it, but like I think it was a Benedict who said it to priests of Noah, that it wasn't written in their heart. You know, like the law of Moses wasn't written in their heart. I think that's kind of a good way to sum it up. Like,
yeah, they're not kind of ideas to it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's not written on their heart.
Written in their heart. And I think a lot of that has to do with understanding. You know, because the way Elder Bednar describes it is a testimony is what you know is true, and conversion is living according to that.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we kind of have a base understanding, like, yeah, this is good to do, but we don't really know, like, in a rich, deep way that we're converted to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In the same way that, like, somebody who goes through something very difficult understands really well why they're not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And like that's what the mission taught me a lot, was like it really just gave me really deep understanding for why we do the things we do.
Yeah. I remember Mr. Negro.
Okay.
Maybe we should edit out his name. I think we did that in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
But this is something cool that he kind of brought to my attention. This is in 12th grade, so our senior year. Were we in the same class?
I think so.
Okay.
AP English.
Yeah. He said, like, when you know something is right and you still don't do it, that's a measure of your character, right?
Ooh.
So I really like that. You know, if I know that this is right and I still choose to not do it, right, or choose to do something that's wrong, even though I know it's wrong, right, on the other side, that's a measure of your character. And obviously, you know, we say this and it's like, oh yeah, I know that killing people is wrong and I'm definitely not going to do it. But like, it's the little things. It's the little things that you don't do or you do.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess going back one more time, what habits did you end up breaking? Like what change really happened?
Good question. I feel like study was a big one.
Study?
I feel like before my mission, I would study, but it wasn't every day. Or it was a checklist thing, right?
Some days were good. Maybe once a week you'd have kind of good study.
Yeah. But and I remember on those days I was like, wow, the gospel's actually really cool. Then the next day, you know, I would go back to reading my 1 or 2 verses.
Yeah.
It was, right?
Oh, man.
So I feel like study's a big one. I feel like technology.
Use of technology, media use.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Media use is huge for me.
I like talked to someone after my mission and they were like, yeah, I got home and deleted all social media. Okay, the prophets and apostles have social media. Okay, so it's not like this is evil, right?
It's not evil.
I agree. Like maybe you should, you know, take a break here and there, right? But it can be used for good. You just have to master it.
Yeah, totally. Safeguards, baby.
Safeguards, yeah.
Gotta love them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things in the safeguards booklet that I really liked, it said, avoid using your phone to relieve stress or boredom, because that's like the entire U.S. population, right? Yeah. Like they don't want to deal with their problems. They don't want to be bored, so they just turn on the TV.
They go on the phone. They play music.
Yeah, they don't even like what they're watching half the time, but it helps them to not have to deal with real life.
That was low key me last night. I was sad.
I was kind of the same way.
I was sad last night, bro. I was so sad. I was in a.
Are you sad that we lost our flag game?
That was part of it. I was just in a bum mood overall, and so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna eat my cereal and go watch Netflix. And like, this is the first time I've watched Netflix by myself since being home. I guess I kind of watched by myself the other day, but it was at home with family, kind of. So like, it was still like with family at the end of it. This is the first time where I chose to log into Netflix on my computer and start watching something.
What did you watch?
I was watching Stranger Things because that's what I'm watching right now. That's the only thing I've really watched.
Okay.
And I like watched 5 minutes. I finished my bowl of cereal. I'm like, bro, I don't want to watch this right now. Because like my sadness was like affecting me, like enjoying it. You know, it wasn't distracting me. And I knew like trying to distract myself from it was stupid. So like, no, I'm not going to do this right now.
Is this going, by the way?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone. It just like, it just stops.
Okay.
Every once in a while. Sorry, technical.
No, you're good.
Curiosities.
I'm just wondering what time we're at. Yeah.
It says we got like 10 minutes left until 40 minutes.
Okay, we're good.
Sorry,
see, the time just goes like that.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas to unpack and go into.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so media use.
Yeah, media use was a big one. I remember, like my roommates were just watching the most random show. It's like, this is not good. Yeah, I think another big habit that I developed was reading. I feel like when you go on your mission, you have a tendency to think, I'm too busy to do blank, right? I quickly learned, not quickly actually, it took me a while to learn, but there is no such thing as too busy, okay? The problem is you're prioritizing the wrong things.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of time in a day, okay? There's 24 hours in a day. right? So I'm too busy to do blank is never a good excuse in my opinion. So reading was one of those things. Like I remember when I was home, I was like, I'm too busy to read. Obviously that was a very big lie. Excuse, I guess.
Excuse, yeah.
But even on my mission, it was a tendency to think I'm too busy to read, right? But you can find time to do it, even on your mission when you're busy. You can find time to read. And I never went in and like scheduled out, we're going to read for half an hour, right? An area book. But if you're really trying, you can find time to read. And so I've tried to continue that back coming home. And it's been hard, honestly, because it's a lot easier to fill your schedule. Yeah. But it's still possible. Is the thing.
Definitely. You just gotta, I don't know, just be a bit more strategic with your day.
Yeah,
and
strategic.
how you fill things in.
Yes, daily planning.
No, really though. Like,
if I learned one thing about my mission, daily planning.
There's so many like little gaps of time that you just lose. Honestly.
And they add up to be a lot.
They add up quite a bit. So I guess to like broaden this to more, I guess overall, what do you think really incited all the change that happened on your mission?
That's a really good question. I think it goes back to knowing, to if you really know something, then you'll do it, right? I think I just gained such a greater perspective. When you're on your mission, at first it's like, oh, we have to do such and such. We have to wear a shirt and tie every day, and you don't really think about why, right? We have to wake up at 6:30 and we have to go to bed at 10:30. We have to, like my family always wears church clothes the whole day long, and my siblings always say, why do we have to do this, right? But my perspective changed. Is like I look at the reasons why we do things a lot more now, and that made me want to change my actions, not just because I have to, but because I want to do such and such. For example, like it's the Lord's day, so I show respect for him on his day by wearing my best dress all day long. That's just one example.
Yeah, one example.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I don't know. Change. Like I said, there was like a time on my mission where, like if I came home, like things wouldn't have gotten better necessarily. I think a lot of change really just comes with time and perseverance.
Oh yeah.
Like
there's no substitute for time.
Yeah. Like the whole idea of the furnace of affliction is very real.
Oh yeah.
And getting yourself pulled out of it right in the middle isn't necessarily going to fix it. Now I understand like there are times on your mission where you have to come home. People get sick, people get in extreme conditions where they need more help than they can get. But there was times on my mission where I was talking with a therapist, where I was doing things to really help myself out, like in that situation. And honestly, like, I don't know, like it was tough going throughout the whole thing, but just the perseverance, like towards the end, like it was such a, I want to use like triumphant sort of like feeling.
Yeah.
Like
victorious.
Almost.
Yeah.
Although
sense
like
of accomplishment.
Yeah. Cause what was hard though was like throughout my mission, I constantly felt like I wasn't meeting expectations.
Right.
Like
right.
especially self expectations, mostly because I didn't clarify them with myself. But at the end of my mission, I got a very distinct impression, very direct. It was in a blessing from my mission president that I had fulfilled the expectations that the Lord had for me. And like that was like all the difficulties, like everything I was kind of putting myself was worth it, knowing that I was reaching the Lord's expectations.
Oh yeah. Man, that was some gold that came out of your mouth. I'm trying to think of a better word, but
gold.
But yeah, that was perfect. I think that really encapsulates missions. Like all the hardship, all the trial, all the furnace of affliction. Really, it's worth it. In the end, it really is worth it. And I remember, like I feel like I dealt with more trial in a span of 2 years than I probably will the rest of my entire life. Well, I'm not going to say that.
But like nothing
up
that
until that
dense,
point,
nothing that compact.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
And I had it confirmed to me as well through very special experiences, and it was all worth it in the end. and it's just an incredible feeling. I like triumphant, a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, because it's we can talk about the furnace of affliction outside of it. It's really easy to talk about outside of it. When you're in it, you completely forget everything you said before.
Yeah, for sure.
All of those like feel good, go lucky sayings you had just were out the window.
You're like, I want a trial, bring it on.
Yeah, you're like, I want to change, I want to grow, I'm so excited, and you're in it, and it's
actually the worst.
No, and it's completely, like I said, it's completely out the window. All those old things you were saying, I feel like they're just gone, and it's just pure perseverance.
And you would give anything almost to get out of it.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just that, like, if I can paint a picture of the sense of triumph, just like getting on the plane and flying home, and just knowing that you just gave it everything, right? And that, I mean, you were by no means perfect.
Oh yeah, right? That's something really important right there. Giving everything and like being perfect, even though obviously like we know we're not perfect, but like feeling like we did our perfect best, like we're always going to have shortcomings. We're always going to fall short. And even if we recognize we could have done better, that doesn't necessarily mean we like would have done better.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like know. You could have, but would you have?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm trying to say like,
because you can do better.
Yeah,
but would you? Yeah. I definitely know what you mean.
Just because you look back and you saw where you messed up doesn't mean you didn't do your best at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Because there's only so much you can do, and obviously throughout time you're going to recognize where you could have done better.
Right. I feel like on my mission I was never more conscious of every little mistake I made.
Exactly. And it makes it really hard to feel like you did your best.
Right, exactly. Because you knew you could have done more, right?
Yeah.
And then you messed up. But yeah, I remember like walking off the plane and like if you haven't served a mission yet, I feel bad because I'm gonna kind of make you trunky. Yeah. Yeah, kind of spoil it. Yeah. But like walking off the plane, and I just remember walking towards my family, just thinking like, this is the moment. 2 years, and this is the moment. I don't even know the moment of what. I don't know exactly what it was, right? But all I know is that this was the moment, and it didn't disappoint. It was everything that I could ever have imagined.
And the only reason though why that moment is the moment is because of everything.
It's because of the fire.
Exactly. Because of everything before. Because let's be real, like when I started my mission, when I left my door, the first thought I thought about was walking back in.
Yeah,
how that would feel.
Yeah.
And it wasn't out of a sense of like, I can't wait to come home. Like, oh boy, I can't wait to come home. But it was like, that is going to feel so good.
Yeah.
But I just kind of didn't really understand everything that would really go into why that would feel so good.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I remember, like, the first couple months of your mission, your constant thought, not constant, but pretty often.
It's pretty often.
Yeah, it's like, man, that day when I go home is going to be so awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Then you kind of forget about it, and then it kind of comes back towards the end.
Yeah.
But it doesn't disappoint. As long as you give your heart, mind, and strength.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Then it is everything you could want for. But yeah, we're kind of running low on time. This has been really fun, though. I gotta say, and the time has just flown by. My voice is starting to give out. We still got a BYU game.
Yeah, we still got a BYU game tonight. My voice is gonna be so shot tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm super excited.
Yeah,
but this has been really fun. We'll have to do it again. If you want to be on, let us know. We're taking applicants.
Yeah. That's about it. I don't have anything else I want to add for today.
Yeah. Yeah, neither do I. I guess I was going to say, like, if you haven't served a mission or if you have served a mission, but I don't really know who's going to watch this, so I'm not going to leave any last thing.
Take what you will from it.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
See ya. Beautiful timing on the cloud.
Oh, yeah.